Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. It's Jessica here. I missed last week, but I'm back with another video. So in today's video, we're gonna be honoring mothers and we're gonna just be talking about my perspective of motherhood. So first, I wanna shout out my own mom, Stacy. Thank you for being an amazing mom. Everything that you have done for me and continue to do for me. I just feel like becoming a mom for myself definitely made me appreciate my mom even more. I've always appreciated her and been close with her, but when you experience the day in and day out sacrifices and hard work that comes with motherhood, like, you can only respect your mom more for doing it and doing it with a smile and not complaining, making sure you had everything that you had, just being, you know, the rock of your support system. I want to thank all the mothers in my life that have personally helped me. Right now, I have my mother-in-law here who has been amazing and amazing help. So shout out to her and her motherhood and her helping me as well. Just gathering the wisdom of different moms, because, you know, children go through different seasons and you need that wisdom. Last year during Mother's Day, I actually was pregnant. I was like I was about almost 9 months pregnant last Mother's Day. So I did celebrate, but it didn't feel fully real because I wasn't sure what to expect. My son wasn't actually here. So I was like mentally preparing myself for the journey of motherhood. I kind of was like thinking about how this year would be, like my first actual Mother's Day experience in motherhood and things like that. This year, I'm just reflecting on how proud I am of myself. Like, I know that I'm an amazing mom, and it feels good to hear that, but like, I don't need anybody to tell me that I'm an amazing mom to my son. Like, I'm really doing this, and I take pride in this job because it's one of the most important jobs that you have in this lifetime if you are blessed to be a mother. Is it hard? Yes, but it's also rewarding. And I've always wanted to be a mother since I was, you know, wee little thing. I've always been good with kids. I've always loved teaching kids, watching kids. So I knew when it was my time to be a mother that I'll be a great mother. So I've just been reflecting on like how much I've grown. It has made me reverse my people pleasing. It has made me set even better boundaries. It has made me protect my peace to a whole new level. Like, I literally don't care about anything that's outside of my immediate family, and I don't care if I'm perceived as mean, wrong, whatever. I really just care about being an amazing mom to my son and also an amazing wife to my husband. So my journey with motherhood honestly has been amazing. Of course, there has been struggles, but honestly, it hasn't been too much of a rough time. I have a very chill baby. You know, he can be inquisitive and things like that, but his demeanor is very calm. He's a water baby, he's a Cancer, so he's very calm, very sweet. You know, he can be a little rambunctious, but for the most part, his temperament and his little personality is not that hard to deal with. I think the hardest part of motherhood so far has been the mental fortitude it takes to go on each day. For me, it's the mental part, because wearing so many hats, having to make so many decisions on a day-to-day basis is overwhelming. And honestly, right now, like in this current moment, in this current season, I am overwhelmed by making decisions, by trying to find a balance between me, my marriage, my child. It's overwhelming. So that is the hardest part, is just having the tenacity and the mental to keep going and to also show myself grace, because I'm not going to be perfect. I'm a recovering perfectionist. So I feel like motherhood is also teaching me, like, hey, every day is not going to go the way that you think it's going to go. You got to roll with the punches. And I think my work with letting go of control before I had my son definitely has helped with this season of motherhood, because you don't know what the day is going to bring. You don't know if your child is going to be fussy. You don't know if they're going to be teething really bad that day. You don't know if it's just going to be a super easy day. You don't know how to behave when they get sick. Like, you don't know a lot of different things. It's just really important to make sure that you are doing something and have some type of outlet, so that your mental, for me at least, that your mental is not going haywire. And that's what the gym does for me. Now, I've taken a couple weeks off the gym because it's just been so much going on. My son got sick, I got sick, my whole household got sick, and then, you know, the bridge collapsed, so that affects traffic and me going to the gym and different things like that. So a lot of things have been going on, but I am determined to make sure that I find some type of balance to make sure that I get into the gym, because just starting off my day with that physical activity, with, you know, really just getting my mental together for the day before the day starts, chef's kiss. Literally chef's kiss. Let's talk a little bit about postpartum and stuff. So I did not experience postpartum depression, thank God. I know a lot of women struggle with postpartum depression. If you are currently struggling with postpartum depression, my heart goes out to you. I know that is a lot to deal with on top of being a mom. If you're a wife or a partner or whatever else you have on your plate, I know that's a lot. I'll say that I deal with postpartum anxiety, because your mind is just like, you want to protect your baby, so your mind can kind of go all over the place, like, well, what if this happens? What if this happens? And I shared on my Instagram and my TikTok pages that I was in a pretty bad accident with my son in the car in March. So that just added and heightened the anxiety of, you know, not being able to protect my son. It hasn't been crazy, and for the most part, I can manage the anxiety. The gym definitely helps with that as well, of not overthinking and playing things in your mind and all that type of stuff. At least for me, it helps. In that area of mental health, I wouldn't say that I've really been struggling. Like, I felt full of life, even though I might have looked down bad, like, whew, this is a lot of energy it takes being a mom. Like, I feel good. You know, of course, you have your days where it's like, whew, this is rough. Like, I did not think today was going to be like this, or, you know, I don't know how I'm going to get through this day. Of course you have those days, but for the most part, motherhood has been treating me well. Let's talk about changes in my body. So I haven't had a whole bunch of changes in my body, but there have definitely been some. I know months ago I talked about how I had postpartum BO, so I just had really bad underarm odor. That's gone. That went away maybe about 4 or 5 months ago. Thank God, because that was so embarrassing, smelling like a cheesesteak. But I had that. My skin on my face got really dry and started to like develop eczema. The eczema is gone, but my skin still is a bit dry, so I'm trying to make sure that I'm getting the correct intake of water every day. I mean, I don't always get it right, but that's definitely a priority of mine. I noticed that the first couple of months, well, let's just say this, my period returned literally like the next month, because I did not breastfeed. It returned like the next month after I gave birth. Like, it was not playing. In the first maybe 3 or 4 months, it was pretty heavy. Now, it wasn't like anything crazy like bleeding through stuff, but it was definitely heavier than my periods before I had my son. So I definitely noticed heavier periods, and it seemed like it was coming a little bit earlier than the app that I use, because before I got pregnant, it would literally come like clockwork, unless I was, you know, really stressed or overwhelmed. So it comes like a little bit early, sometimes earlier than expected, but it isn't too bad. Now it's not as heavy, and it hasn't, you know, skipped a month. It's been regular. So yeah, I can literally, for me, I could feel my womb, you know, going back to its regular size. The first couple of periods kind of just feel like you're open and exposed. That might be TMI, but yeah, it just felt like, you know, you have this open cavity. Now it doesn't feel like that so much. I have had a mommy pooch. It's coming back a little bit since I haven't been in the gym, but I have like a tiny bit of stretch marks around my like belly button and a tiny bit of a mommy pooch. But working out when I was consistently going, definitely snapped my pooch right on back, which I'm thankful for. Well, my boobs aren't as perky, you know, or full as they used to be, which is okay because I assumed that I would be breastfeeding, so I was like, my boobs are probably going to be gone. So yeah, they are a little bit smaller than they used to be, which is cool. I don't really care about that. But I haven't had too many crazy things happen postpartum, as far as physical changes, at least what I can think of. Anyways, so we're gonna go into some random baby tips that you might need. So you could be like freshly postpartum, or you could be watching this when you're pregnant and you're trying to just do all your research. Because let me tell you, I was on YouTube, I was on TikTok like crazy while I was pregnant, just trying to get all the information that I can. So shout out to just being a millennial parent that is, you know, this information is accessible, because I know moms back in the day, they didn't have this. They had to figure it out on their own or know an elder that knew this stuff. So random baby tip, wash your baby's hands, like even when they're super little. Like wash them. You can just use wipes. Make sure that you're getting in those hands because they smell like cheese. I seen this on TikTok and I was like, what? They smell like cheese because their hands are clenched and they're sweating. They might have milk. Like, yes, make sure that you're washing those hands, that neck, any of the crevices that stuff can get stuck in. Make sure you're washing that. I will also say, be aware that your baby might freak out for bath time. At least my son did. He did not like being cold. So anytime it came to like changing his diaper, changing his clothes, or getting a bath, those were like literally the hardest moments, because he was used to being like in a warm womb and then coming out to the real world where it's cold and you have to get into water. He did not like that. So if your child is fussy during that time, it's normal. They will get used to it. It took my son maybe about 2 months to really get used to being cold and being okay and not being super fussy. So just be patient on that front. Let me also mention that your baby could also have day and night confusion. So your baby might be up during the nights and sleep during the day because they don't really know what time of day it is when they're in your womb. So if they seem to be off schedule during the day, make sure that you expose them to daylight. And at nighttime, make sure everything is dark so that things are not so confusing for them and that they can get on a schedule of day and night and not be confused. Also, really quick on baby wake windows. Newborn babies are not supposed to be awake long at all. Sometimes when they're awake too long, they become overtired. So that means they're super fussy and it's hard, even harder to get them to go to sleep. So what you need to do for this is look up baby wake windows. I'll put an example on the screen and basically follow those windows. So your baby should not be up longer than those times. You should be putting them back to sleep within that time frame so that they don't get overtired and super fussy, because that's just going to add to your exhaustion and your frustration. I hope this helps, and see you in my next video.